Xavier. It's the accents on the,
Yes.
Xavier Montsalvatge.
Yes. Good for you.
Welcome back. I am here with Alejandro Roca, who is the artistic director of the Young Artist Program at the Opera Company of Middlebury. He's also a lecturer at Yale School of Music. Thank you so much for being with me here today.
My pleasure. Excited to be here.
I wanted to start with actually a really general question, which is about young artist programs. I think a lot of people don't realize young artist programs are a thing. There are
Correct.
hundreds of them all over the world, and they're a very critical part of producing world-class opera singers. So what is a young artist program?
Yes, there are a thing, and there are many in this country and around the world because it's essential part of the training, but also I think it's an essential part of any good opera company, which is train the next generation of singers. So offering them the opportunity to come to work with our musical staff, to cover some roles or to sing some roles with them in stage, do their own production, and be integrated into that process that is hard to reproduce in a school context. It's basically the point. So it's very refined and advanced training or like a set of skills that is hard to get in a classroom, that you need to get them in the theater.
Right. And these programs are selective, and you need to apply to them.
Correct. Those programs are incredibly selective. There are many, many, many schools and many opera singers around. So we every year hold first like a pre-screening in video. We received this year for our programs a little less than 400 people applied.
400 applicants?
Yeah, it's
wow.
that. And then we selected from those almost 400, around 40 to audition in person in New York City. And then from those, we select the group that we have. But they're incredibly selective, it's incredibly competitive too. And there are many, many programs around, but definitely not enough for the amount of great and talented singers that there are.
So how many total participants are there in our program?
We have 10 this year.
Exactly. Okay. Anything that sets Opera Company of Middlebury's Young Artist Program apart from other programs that would make 400 people want to apply to it?
Many things. I mean, for sure, the kind of opportunities that we offer this year is incredibly special because the young artists, in the past, they used to cover some roles, but this year, many of them are actually singing comprimary roles in the main stage production.
Oh, wow. I didn't know that.
So in the Traviata, many of the smaller parts, the smaller roles are actually going to be sung by young artists, which is something for the resume and also training and experience. So we offer that. We offer also a very well curated production of a different opera that is thought for the voices that we have, and that's so they get to perform two roles or to prepare two roles, but also the fact that they can do it in a very professional but friendly atmosphere. The community is so supportive. They know that our shows are going to be sold out, and everybody here is caring about the young artists. So I think that something that has been spread out, and people want to come to Middlebury for that.
So let's talk about that production. That production is Babel 46, which is a U.S. premiere. This is the first time this has ever been performed in the U.S. It's a Catalan composer, which means that, for me at least, it's a little bit of a difficult name for me to pronounce.
Yes.
So if people at home are like me, give us a little tutorial. How can we sound like an expert when we say this composer's name?
So his name is Xavier.
Xavier.
And the last name is Montsalvatge.
Montsalvatge.
Exactly. In Catalan, some vowels become neutral. It's Montsalvatge.
Montsalvatge.
Yes, correct.
Okay.
And it's a funny story too. I had the opportunity to meet him in 1998. I was a college student, and I attended a concert in Spain, and he was there.
Wow.
He was probably 92 or something like that. And it was so I have that memory of like shaking his hand.
Wow.
Back in the day.
That's so
Xavier
cool.
Montsalvatge.
Montsalvatge. What is he known for?
He's known for basically songs and piano music, and has 3 operas. One is called La Voce in Off, El Gato con Botas, and Babel 46. So he wrote 3 operas, but his probably most performed work is a song cycle called the Canciones Negras, the black songs. With poems of both Spanish and Cuban poets. So there were songs about the exile Spanish people in Cuba and the War of Independence of Cuba from Spain. So the Black Songs is probably his most performed work, both in its piano and voice version, or orchestra and voice version. There are two versions. It's an exceptionally pretty and well done song cycle.
To get into the story itself, we have Babel, I think referring to the Tower of Babel because we're in a situation where so many different languages are being spoken. And 1946, this is right after World War II. We're in a refugee camp. What's happening in that camp?
So basically, the opera starts with this refugee camp in the south of France, where you get people that are transitioning or like sent there to wait for going back to their own countries. You have an Italian couple, two sisters that are Spanish, one French marquise, one Scottish character, and two Jewish brothers that are also there. So they're all waiting to be allowed to go back to where they belong after the war. But also, you can find that they're finding inside different ways of surviving the situation. So basically, all of them lie about who they are just to survive and to create those power structures inside the camp. So it's interesting to see how the human being behaves in a context of I need to create my own story to survive in an extreme situation like that. So that's part of, and the opera, it's about those relationships in between characters, some love, some tragedy, some family issues, and it's written in a kind of neo-verismo style, which is very close to truth.
It's interesting because the main stage opera, La Traviata, it's about a woman who, because of very difficult circumstances, is not able to tell the truth.
Exactly.
And then we have our young artist putting on a completely different opera, but is dealing with many people who, because of difficult circumstances, do not feel like they can tell the truth.
Yes, it's similar, plus it's not the same idea, but the same idea of human struggle, for sure. But also it shares many of the same types of singers. The specificities on opera repertoire in different voices is something that they also need to learn. Not every voice is good to all the repertoire. So there are some voices that are better for Verdi, or some others that are better for Mozart. So in this case, one of the many reasons we picked the Babel is, yes, the story and the plot, but also the voice types that we have.
Got it. What is the difference between neo-verismo and that style of music and that style of story compared to what we'll see it in La Traviata?
Yeah, so I would say neo-verismo in terms of the plot could perfectly be something that will inspire an opera by Puccini or Leoncavallo or Mascagni, but part of the musical language is more contemporary, more dissonant, a little more harsh, and it also takes some influences other non-Italian styles for sure. So it's a, musically speaking, it's a very interesting mix of, let's say, Italian intensity and melody and lyricism.
Okay.
With more contemporary and dissonant harmonies and rhythms, if that makes sense.
So instead of it being entirely dissonant, you have something that is lyrical,
Yes.
then being like almost like intercut.
Yes.
With
Intercut or even parallel. Sometimes you have very lyrical melodies and very dissonant rhythms or harmony at the same time.
Interesting. And what is the effect that that has on the listener? Like, is it meant to make you feel anxious or uncomfortable or disoriented?
I think it's meant to make you feel the character's anxiety about leaving that place, and it's meant to be that sense of darkness of being closed in a place you didn't choose to be in. So I think that's part of the idea. And related to Traviata, I think it's, as you mentioned, is both about people struggling to leave their current situation and to become a different person.
For a piece that is going to take you somewhere uncomfortable, do we get a resolution? Does it leave you in a place of discomfort, or is there some kind of cathartic release, or does it bring you home?
Spoil the end of the film.
I'm just, I don't. Some people might be excited by dissonance and discomfort. Other people might. I'm wondering, should we be afraid of the discomfort?
No, I don't think you should be afraid. I think the music is very pretty. It's extremely beautiful, but beautiful not always means comfortable. So there are many moments that there are tense and dark, but also some humor. There are some humor, some characters that are more in the lighter side. So, for example, one of the characters, Berta, she's Italian but from Alger in Sardinia, and they speak Catalan there. So she sings a folk Catalan tune.
Wow.
Another of the Jewish characters sings a kind of Sephardi melody or song. So it has some folk music influence also in that. So it's a chiaroscuro, dark and light sensation. And the end, it's a very powerful end, I have to admit, but I'm not going to spoil it. You need to come and see it.
Okay. We've just begun rehearsals, but what are we, this particular group of young artists and this show, what are we finding in rehearsals? What's coming up?
I'm so excited. We have an exceptional group this year. People with exceptional vocal and music level and skills, and people that are or going or attended Juilliard and Curtis Institute and Yale and universities in Germany. That is a really, really exceptional and diverse group, which I really like. People that have different ages and experiences and backgrounds. All of them are really exceptional and also very well prepared. I was amazed in the first 2 days of rehearsals of how well prepared with such a difficult and unknown opera, because you cannot even get an official recording of this opera. There are a couple of recordings of live performances that have been done in Europe, but it's not easy to get a recording. So I was very impressed about the level of previous preparation that they did. So I think we are in a really good shape. Of course, the languages are the greatest challenge, just to coach them in all of those different languages. We have some help. I mean, I can work with some. We had other help, and we have some help from the Millbury College. Also, people that are, they have an exceptional language department, as you know. So I think it also is a good thing to start collaborating with them in that. So we're beginning the process, but I would say you need to come and hear those voices, because I don't know how easy it will be to get those voices in the future. There have exceptional careers coming for all of those singers.
Wow. So it's not only does this seem like an extraordinary group in terms of talent, but I think I'm really realizing just how special it is to be able to see or hear this opera at all. I mean, this is something, it really is a U.S. premiere, and it's not music that is otherwise available to people.
It's an exceptional opportunity, but it's not so often to do a U.S. premiere of a composer that is a major composer. I mean, he is in the Spain and Latin America music world, someone that is very important, not so often performed here. But to listen to a premiere of a well-established composer here in Millbury, it's a great opportunity. And I think the fact that we are giving our audience a taste of what other types of opera are. So doing something that is very mainstream repertoire like La Traviata that we all love, but also this is what opera sounds nowadays. This is 20 years old, let's say. I mean, was composed a little longer, but it's been around for only about 20 years. We are also, and that's a fun fact, in touch with the composer's family. They know about the production. I've been in touch with them. They're going to send some videos of support. His two children, I mean, daughter and son, they know about the production. They're very excited. They publish it in the composer's website, the fact that we are finally premiering Babel 46 in the United States.
That's amazing. What do you hope people take away from this? They maybe have gone and seen Traviata, then they come and actually, which is a classic, then they come see Babel 46, which is something very new. What do you hope that they take away from Babel 46?
First, I hope they appreciate the quality of the talent that we have. I mean, come and listen to those voices and those talents, because they're really exceptional, and a huge range of different type of voices. We have a real bass, we have a dramatic soprano. So there is like really, really impressive vocal qualities. But also come and discover how art can touch some part of the human being that they're not always, as I said, nice or comfortable, but very deep. It's a very deep feeling and a very true and human feeling of, oh, I could have been in that situation too. What would I have done if I was in a refugee camp at the end of the war? How would I survive? So I think that's a question that, how would I react to those challenges? And I think it's a topic that, it's every day around how do we face those adversities.
Well, thank you so much for joining me, Alejandro. This has been
pleasure.
really, really fun. Yeah.
Anytime. Happy to be here, and I invite everyone to come and see the performances because we are really, really excited about them.
Babel 46, it opens June 12th, Friday, June 12th, and then there'll be a matinee on Sunday, June 14th, which will close out our entire opera season. And of course, La Traviata is on our main stage, opening Friday, June 5th with 4 performances. We hope to see you there.